hear me? Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
A message from a small town right in the center of the country. It said we should reach out to a 62-year-old woman who has had to work her whole life and never wanted to rock the boat.
I was scared to say anything.
Like millions of moms, she says she thought the point was to do the job well and make sure everyone around her felt good.
On my way to work, I've got about a 30-minute drive, and I just pray on the way to work every day, get me through this day.
It's before dawn when I arrive at Pam Norman's house in Dexter, Missouri.
Do you want cream and sugar or
milk, if you've got it?
Is that good
Capacity
enough?
here. No, that's great.
Since she was 16 years old, she's cleaned houses and worked at local factories making auto parts. And the income from those jobs was all she had to raise her children on her own and then help her grandkids. When those factories took their jobs to foreign countries, she went to work at a delivery company which had a contract with FedEx. She says she's been commended by FedEx for good customer service, and she loves delivering some of the huge load of packages that land on our doorsteps every day.
I have carried 135 and 40-pound packages. I'll bear hug it.
Just sheer body strength.
Yeah, I've had some heavy packages. I love my job. I've got a lot of good customers, and they love me and I love them.
She says she's so proud of those young women in Hollywood who had the courage to speak out, the ones at the award shows.
Oh my gosh.
We can elicit change.
Secrets and lies.
Time is up.
I thought it was really cool that the guys stood up with the women. That makes me feel good.
She knows their lives are different from hers. But she says she also knows what it's like when someone is trying to humiliate you, bully you. And until 2.5 years ago, she says that person was her boss, the owner of the company.
So am I reading right? The things you say he said to you, that he was going to knock your red hair off.
Head off. I had red hair at that time.
And shove it up your
Yes, ma'am.
She says there's no question people heard him yelling insults.
People on the other side of the line would hear it. Get your over there. You know, just crazy stuff. Some days I come home and I just would sit and just think, you know, can I do this one more day?
She said he sometimes even made her take on extra deliveries.
It wasn't even my package, it was the guy next to me. And he said, I'm so glad I don't have to listen to your whining anymore. Well, I was crazy by then.
And then threatened to fire you?
Oh, he threatened to fire me several times. Oh, yeah.
And if you doubt what she's saying, here's what some of her coworkers tell us they heard him say.
First thing he said was, well, you're a stupid bitch that can't do her job. I knew that day that she had 100 to 150 stops.
You know, we say this bitch is back. She shouldn't be here anyway. She's a woman. This is not a woman's job.
She don't need to do this job.
It wasn't every day, but I'm going to say at least 3 days a week. He was always on her.
That stupid needs to pull her head out of her.
I don't think he ever has cussed me without an audience.
She says years ago she asked her boss to stop talking to her like that, but he seemed to be dismissive. When he sold the company to new management and remained as her co-worker, she says she went to the new management asking for help, but they didn't seem to think her problem was serious.
What gets me, Diane, is nobody ever took up for me. Management or my manager. And a lot of people would say, why don't you quit? But around our area, we have hardly any. I worked in a factory 30 years.
And finally, she says, a year and a half ago, she worked up nerve to use that FedEx Corporation workplace hotline number and tell her story.
FedEx alert line.
I was terrified. I didn't want to get anybody in trouble, believe it or not. I just didn't.
She got an email from FedEx saying, thank you for your call. We are closing this case. And she should take up her complaints with her employer on site. Sometimes, even a quiet 62-year-old woman has had enough.
I've worked hard, and I deserve not to be treated like that. I guess that's why I'm doing it.
Doing it for the first time in her life, filing a lawsuit. It's against FedEx and that delivery company, both state and federal claims. She asked for monetary damages, and she says an environment where a woman could work with dignity.
Got the right to be respected.
Yeah, respected. That's a good word. I like to be respected.
And sometimes a person and one small act of courage can create a very big reaction.
Even growing up in high school and stuff, I got the nickname of Bubba because I was like everybody's big brother.
Dwayne Maynard, 6 foot 2 inches tall, now works as an officer at a maximum security prison. But for a while, he loaded packages alongside Pam. and says he is stepping forward now to join her fight, sick of the familiar justifications.
It's just guy talk, don't worry about it. No, it's not guy talk.
So you're not surprised by all these stories coming out about how much of this goes on?
No, I'm not surprised at all.
Dwayne says now is the moment all across this country for men to make it clear this is their fight too.
I think more of them should come out. And I think more men should stand up for what they believe in.
What did they need to do?
Get a backbone and show each and every individual the same respect you want shown to yourself. My great-grandma and my great-grandpa grew up on a farm in Arkansas. A 4-room shack, 18 kids. Him and her went out every morning and cut logs by hand, hewed the ties for the railroad. My great-grandmother was out there right beside him, doing the same job he was. There's a lot of single women out there making the same living, raising their kids all by themselves, and they need showed that respect.
And that's the real America.
That's the real America.
And it's not just Dwayne. Another of Pam's co-workers sent word to us he's coming forward as well. He asked us not to show his full face, but drove 4.5 hours to tell us so much of his life he's worked at jobs where there are men who belittle women.
It's just like an everyday thing in life. It's like getting up out of bed, Hey, we can talk to her any way we want to.
He says he just wishes he'd been brave enough to speak up at the time, but he needed that job. Now,
If it gets out, it gets out. I don't care.
You don't need the pressure of your conscience.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right.
I'll show you where we turn up here. And I get a little nervous then.
both that man who was once Pam's boss and the delivery company refused to talk to us. While state claims have been dismissed, the federal case is moving forward, with FedEx saying they are not Pam's employer, but they are committed to a workplace free from harassment.
Can I turn it up?
Yes, you can.
Man, I feel like a woman.
The people at Pam's workplace don't know she's talking to me, so in that frozen dawn, she drops us off outside the gate.
Now, I'm going to pull in up here at this little church.
What would you like to say to all the Hollywood people we hear from about you here in Dexter, Missouri?
Well, I mean, I'm just a country girl, but everybody's got feelings. I'm just going to tough it out. I've went this far, and I'm not going to turn back.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.